Some of you might know that for Heritage Week this year I had started a Jostle survey, or initiated a Jostle survey. The history behind that was that the president of the Kilkenny Archaeological Society had approached me because she knows I'm a mapper with OpenStreetmap, and she had said, wouldn't it be great to have all these Jostle stones in Kilkenny mapped, because it would maybe prevent them from getting lost, because once they're recorded, they're there. And I said, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that. Let's do a project, maybe a cooperation between OpenStreetmap Ireland and the Kilkenny Archaeological Society. So I had planned this since January, and I had given a talk to the Kilkenny Archaeological Society to convince them to do that, and they all said it was a great idea. So I made a poster for Heritage Week and I put it on Facebook and all kinds of channels. The libraries posted it. One of our local, very well-known archaeologists shared it as well. The response was that a girl from Callan called Isabel wanted to take part, and she's the only one that I know of. And her dad, Matthew, just handed back the field papers filled in with all the Jostle stones in Callan. And I said I would add them to OpenStreetmap, and I will show you how we did that. And first of all, I will show you all the Jostle stones that we have in the county of Kilkenny now, because I went then, because nobody else took part for Kilkenny, I just went and added a few that I knew from memory and some others that I did survey. I'm not finished yet because the point of the exercise wasn't me mapping that, because I could have done that a year ago. I wanted to include people and maybe get some new mappers for OpenStreetmap Ireland, and I'll show you which ones we have in the county now. As usual with these things that aren't shown directly on OpenStreetmap, we're going to use Overpass Turbo, which we can use to mine all the data that is kind of hidden in the database. So overpassturbo.eu, and we use the wizard and we just type in man-made equals guard stone in, and then in quotes county Kilkenny. Oops, I always type that wrong. And just build and run query. And I'll just zoom out to show the county of Kilkenny. We have 139 now, and that includes the ones in Callan because I recorded that bit before I ran this query. So we have a couple in the city, but as I said, they're not all of them. So a few more. And then the ones in Bennett's Bridge, which I did a video about already, the 82 in Bennett's Bridge, or 83 actually. One in Thomastown, a couple in Graignamanagh for... I think somebody else wanted to do the survey in Graignamanagh. I haven't heard back from them. Yep, so a couple. Surely there are more, but that's all we have on the map for now. And it's 139, it's not too bad. And now we'll go and see how Isabel and Matthew fared with their survey in Callan and add those to the map. These are the 2 pages that Matthew handed back at reception in Roth House. And there's the second page, and there are 8 Jostle stones or guard stones that Isabel and himself found in Callan. And I photographed this with my phone. I could have scanned it, I just don't have a scanner. But you can photograph them as well, and then you can upload them to fieldpapers.org, which we're going to do now. And on fieldpapers.org, you go to the 3rd picture to upload pages you photographed. And then you click browse and you choose your folder. And just double click or click once and then on open. And it has to be 200 dpi at least. And it also has to be JPEG, PNG, TIFF or GIF, no PDFs. And you see here it says choose an atlas page to upload. We'll work out where it goes using the QR code. So that was one of the questions that Matthew had, what the QR code was for. It's used by Field Papers to locate where on the map it goes, because this is going to be a background layer in the ID editor, which hopefully we will see in a bit. Okay, so for some reason this did not work, but do not despair. You can just use the paper, so which is what I'm going to do. So you might hear some ruffling in the background. Please excuse that. So there are 8 of them in Callan. And I will just go to, this doesn't work, I can't put it there. Just go to OpenStreetmap.org and to Callan and just add them by hand. And I will just display this part of the field papers here on the side so you can follow what I'm doing. So the first one is in Clodine Lane at this corner of the building. And as I explained in one of the previous videos about Jostle stones, they're used to keep the wheels of a horse-drawn carriage to bang into the corner of a building or the wall to prevent damage. And this is exactly what it was used for there, and it makes a lot of sense at that corner. And it's great that the guard stone or Jostle stone still survives. So I'll move this over here so I can display the field paper bit on the right hand side, and it's on that corner, and I just use the point and place it there at the corner of the building and click on point on the left hand side, and then it doesn't have a name, it's not a named Jostle stone, but I just use the tag man-made guard stone just like in the Overpass query, and it will already autocomplete after GU, and that's all that needs to be done. That's the first paper. The other ones are across the river, and I'll just move the map along to the next location, which is here, the entrance to Mill Lane. Of course, there would have been a lot of traffic on Mill Lane going in and out to the mill, so there is one here on this corner. And just like before, I just add the point and then type in man-made guard stone. As I said, you don't even have to type the whole thing. And if I'm too lazy to type everything, I can just mark this, highlight it, and then copy, Control C, and then paste the next one. And it will just follow the cursor around until I drop it here, and that's where the other one is. And then there are 2 more on Mill Lane outside this building. It's possible that there is an entranceway maybe. We could check Mapillary, but I'm not very hopeful for Callan. So these are number 7 and 8 on Matthew's map. He numbered them so when he sent me pictures, we knew which ones he was talking about. And then there are 2 further up here after this large building. So here, and again, there might be a little driveway in here. Can you see that? Maybe there's a possibility of a driveway going through the building, and we tag that as tunnel equals building passage. But I won't do it now because I don't know for sure if there is one. So that's 4 and 5, and then number 6 is up here, right here. And that should be all of them. Yeah, so there we have them, and I'll just save this. And I added the ones in Kilkenny earlier, and I have a hashtag for it, so it'll just remember that. So I used hashtag Heritage Week 2021 and hashtag Jostle Stones, and then of course I have to add a source, and that's of course survey. And I can't thank Isabel and Matthew enough, and also it was Isabel's birthday recently, so happy belated birthday, Isabel. Thank you so much for participating in this. And I'll just upload this and go to the front page or main page of OpenStreetmap.org. And of course they're not shown because they're not as relevant on this map view as streets are and buildings. But as I showed earlier, we can make them visible on Overpass, and I could just search for man-made guardstone in, instead of County Kilkenny, just Callan. And there's hopefully only one Callan in Ireland. Build and run query. Maybe there is more than one. or maybe Callan hasn't a defined geographical area on OpenStreetmap, but I could just zoom in here and we change it and just leave out the in and the place name, and then it will just search in this bounding box this part of the map that is shown. And if I run this now, you see them here. So there are 8, you might be able to see that. The bottom there displayed POIS, points of interest. And so we have the one in Claudine Lane, these 2 here, and these 2 on the Mill Lane, and more on Lower Bridge Street. So there are in the database now. It's that easy. Thanks very much again, Isabel and Matthew, for participating, and I think Matthew has grown a bit of an interest in surveying, and hopefully Isabel too, because that's always good to have girls or women mapping, because there's very few of us, and it's always good to welcome a new mapper, be it female or male or undecided. So thanks again very much for participating, and I hope to see you for another survey, and we'll just improve OpenStreetmap as we go along. Thanks very much for watching this video, and see you in the next one. Slán!